I can't call it yet, but I think Pete Hegseth has the votes. Mitch McConnell, it appears he has changed his vote from no to yes. Now that leaves just Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins remaining no. But if Mitch flips, and he claims he did, we've got the news, then Pete Hegseth becomes Department of Defense. Meanwhile, we'll get to that. But first, let's do Chuck Schumer railing on Trump's picks. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where the Happy Patriots are. You're crazy if you have not subscribed yet, but it's cool. I'm a little crazy too.
Today, the Senate will hold votes on two pivotal cabinet nominees. First, we will vote to advance the nomination of John Ratcliffe to serve as CIA director. I will respectfully vote no, not because of our political difference, which of course exists, but because I'm deeply worried that Mr. Ratcliffe will be unable to stand up to people like Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard, who are known to falsify intelligence.
This is so ironic because the Biden regime is famous for falsifying intelligence, like the entire Russia hoax and the Project Hurricane or whatever it was called. They falsified FISA warrants, information to get FISA warrants. So rest assured, everyone, you can relax. Chuck does not care about falsifying. And it was some other reason, like the guy is a Republican instead of a Democrat.
As CIA director, Mr. Ratcliffe will have to make decisions based on intelligence and fact. There may be no agency more important than the CIA that has to be fact-based. Sometimes these facts will lead to inconvenient conclusions for his superiors and the president. It's in those cases where truth, not fiction, not ideology, must prevail.
And this is what's weird is, Ratcliffe, when 50 intelligence officers came out and said that the Hunter Biden laptop was probably Russian disinformation, Ratcliffe is one of the only guys in intelligence who took a stand and said, no, it probably is true.
In 2020, when a chairman of an intelligence committee misrepresented that a laptop owned by then candidate Biden's son was somehow a Russian intelligence operation, and 51 former intelligence officials used the imprimatur of IC authority to go along with that, I stood in the breach. I stood alone and told the American people the truth about that. So I think my record in terms of speaking truth to power and defending the intelligence community and its good work is very clear. And what I can assure you is those types of instances, if I'm in that position as CIA director and have to do that again, as uncomfortable as that can be, to be accused, the truth will ultimately defend itself, and I think that intelligence will as well.
That he was saying that from what he looked at, they were all making a political run to defend Joe Biden, and he said so literally it's opposite land. Whatever Chuck Schumer is saying, and I don't believe Chuck Schumer can be dumb enough to believe what he's saying right now. I think he's actually lying. That's a compliment I'm going to pay to him, Chuck. You're not stupid. You're immoral. You're not this dumb and naive. You're very smart. I'm paying you a compliment, you criminal.
And I have my doubts that Mr. Ratcliffe will be able to hold firm. Most troubling about Mr. Ratcliffe were the answers I got from him about Tulsi Gabbard, President Trump's nominee to serve as Director of National Intelligence. If confirmed, Ms. Gabbard would oversee the CIA and our entire intelligence community. And I think she'd be colossally disruptive for American security. If there's anyone who hasn't been fact-based, as you've listened to her statements over the years, it's Tulsi Gabbard. She seems to make things up out of thin air. No one could be worse in a position of DNI than someone who doesn't believe in facts. So I told Mr. Ratcliffe he should urge President Trump to drop her nomination. If he really cares about the CIA and its integrity, he couldn't report to somebody like Tulsi Gabbard in good conscience. She's simply too risky.
But what about Chuck Schumer? You're in the Democrat Party. Why did you support Joe Biden if he's so safe? Why did you support Kamala Harris if she's so safe? Chuck Schumer who personally threatened Kavanaugh.
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
Chuck, you're funny. I'm laughing at you because you're so evil and because you are lying. And I don't believe those are lies. I believe those are accurate statements of mine.
Ms. Gabbard has a whole history of spreading falsities, cheering America's adversaries. And if confirmed, I'm worried she'll push false intelligence for political ends.
No, you're not. You're not worried about that. That's not why.
Those are precisely the moments Mr. Ratcliffe will have to hold firm, reject what she says, and go to the president and speak truth to power. His answers to my questions about that were unsatisfying. And so I'm voting no, because it's such an important position.
This guy does not care, Chuck.
Now on the Hegseth vote. Today, the Senate will vote to advance one of the most unqualified, erratic nominees for a major position we have ever seen in America.
You mean compared to, let's see, Lloyd Austin was the last one. You know, the guy who didn't tell anyone that he was having cancer treatment for a month. He disappeared off the planet, did not report. Biden didn't know. No one knew. While we were engaged during Hamas, during Ukraine, the head of the Department of Defense didn't tell anyone that and was too afraid to spill the beans, that he was incapacitated and in surgery. I mean, if you're out cold, you're supposed to have a second in command take over, and they didn't know. So, and Chuck.
No position in the cabinet carries the weight, the responsibility of Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense is in charge of keeping us safe and keeping the men and women in our armed forces and the civilians safe.
Okay, that's another dumb statement. Why? Because it's literally no other position holds the weight of Department of Defense. Literally, by the way, no other position holds the weight of the White House press secretary or the chief chef for the president. It holds all of the power of the chief chef, and there's no other institution like it. Or it holds the press secretary, and there's no other institution like it. This one holds the department. These are one-of-a-kind positions, Chuck. Every one-of-a-kind position is exactly as unprecedented as this one, meaning all of them have precedence.
So you need someone who's a steady hand. You need someone who's had experience in this kind of stuff. You need someone when he shows up to a meeting, you're sure.
Chuck.
If there's any cabinet that should be universally trusted and uncontroversial, it's the Secretary of Defense. Unfortunately, Mr. Hegseth is neither. He's neither trusted nor free of controversy, and I will strongly vote no. I want my colleagues to think about how absurd it is that this nominee has even made it to the floor. It's a shame that that has happened.
It's a shame that the president makes an appointment. What about Rachel Levine? I can't imagine the hubris here, but you can't get mad because you can't take him seriously. Just realize this is a bold-faced political lie. Don't get upset. He's lying. How do you know? Because Chuck Schumer is moving his lips. That's how you know he's lying. So don't get upset at these words, guys. He doesn't mean any of it.
We are being tasked to trust our armed forces to a man with a history of erratic behavior. One of the kindest words that might be used to describe Mr. Hegseth is erratic. And that's a quality you don't want as head of DOD. He has a history of excessive drinking, of alleged domestic abuse, and zero experience leading a large organization of any kind. The new allegations that came out yesterday are even more troubling. And people say, well, how do we know they're true? Well, first, the person who did it has no strike against her. But second, it just corroborates in an even worse way of what we've known about Hegseth in the past. He has a clear problem of judgment, as you've seen by his statements. It's like saying your heart surgeon has twitchy hands, but I'll let him do surgery on me. No one would do that.
Every Democrat in charge, be they in the Senate or in the House of Representatives, I wouldn't trust any of them. I would trust any surgeon. I would trust Pee Wee Herman as my surgeon before I'd trust any Democrat to lead anything. Never put an X next to a Democrat.
How on earth?
Hold on. On another note, does not Chuck Schumer look exactly like Count Chocula? You know, the monster cereal? That's Count Chocula. We need Frankenberry. That's who I think John Fetterman looks like, Frankenberry. This is Count Chocula.
Can America entrust our safety and security to a man who has allegedly shown up to work and other events inebriated? What if he shows up inebriated during a crisis?
Then he'd be just like Nancy Pelosi.
What's going to happen? This is dangerous.
Can you feel the passion in his voice? Look at him. He almost meant that. Oh, man. Now with chocolate marshmallows. And Boo-berry.
Confirmed, he'd be in charge of a workforce of over 3 million people, a budget of $850 billion. Where in his history that shows he's capable of doing that? And what if his erratic behavior spills over to his job at the Pentagon, a high-pressure job, and when people are having this behavior, usually high-pressure jobs make them more, not less erratic?
Well, that explains Chuck. Part of this complete breakfast from General Mills.
What mystifies me so much about Mr. Hegseth's nomination is that there are so many other conservative defense leaders that President Trump could have nominated.
All of which you would have voted against and told the same lies against as an outrage, no matter who they were. Unless they were a weirdo sellout, like Lloyd Austin or Petraeus.
People I wouldn't agree with maybe ideologically and on some of the issues that affect Secretary of Defense.
Good. Name one. Name one, Chuck. Name one.
But people who'd be capable of running the department.
Name one that you'd disagree with on a whole host of issues that you'd still vote for.
I know there are plenty of Republican senators who would instantly make a better option than Mr. Hegseth.
Wait, he just now said that Hegseth didn't have the operational experience, but a senator does over someone who served in the military? You know, which one? How about Ted Cruz? Would you be for that?
Is Pete Hegseth really the best the Republicans have to offer? How low has this party come in making him the nominee?
You lost.
I don't believe he's the best. I don't believe he's close to the best. I will be voting with complete conviction, no.
Well, Chuck, none of us are the best. I mean, are you the best, Count Chocula? Let's do some. That's enough of this guy. What a dried up. Chuck Schumer's ovaries are completely dried up. Let's get to this one's mine. This one, if you guys are too disgusted by that Chuck Schumer video, we're going to call this a palate cleanser. Like when you're eating sushi, you know, you got your sushi and you dip it in the wasabi and you get some soy sauce on there. Then you need to cleanse your palate, so you'd eat the ginger, the pickled ginger. Tastes like lemon pledge. Well, they call that a palate cleanser. Here's Margie Taylor Greene. She's your palate cleanser against Chuck Schumer. Watch. She's getting stalked by the press.
Come to the Capitol or do any tours or any meetings here?
Is this all you really talking about is the J6ers that have been pardoned?
Okay. She asked, I don't know if you can hear with the audio, but she asked, are you going to also offer tours for the J6ers that just got out? And so it's a setup question because Boebert said that she offered a tour of the Capitol to the J6ers that are pardoned and free. Now they're innocent. Remember, a pardon means it's as if you never did anything that you were accused of. So you're equal to any other tour. And she goes, is J6 all you guys gonna talk about?
Yeah, okay. Are you going to talk about the Biden family that got pardoned?
No, the hardened Biden criminals like that killed an 8-year-old. Those anyone outraged about those pardons?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. What about the rapers and killers and murderers that Joe Biden pardoned? There's tons of them. Is that a focus at all?
Well, I'm asking about J6.
I know that's what you're asking. I know that's what you're asking about, and I'm not doing this. This insane place up here and all of y'all's obsession with January 6th is absurd. Everybody outside of here is sick and fucking tired of it. I'm serious.
Oh, bad word. Sorry. I didn't catch that on the bleep. 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 She said a bad word. Justified nearly. by the way.
And so Joe Biden pardons all these murderers and rapists and disgusting people, and then everybody up here has got their panties in a wad because J6ers got pardoned.
She said she's got her panties in a wad because the J6ers got pardoned. Most of whom, by the way, 1,000 of the 1,500 J6ers never laid a hand on anyone. 1,000 of them did not touch a cop. They didn't break into anything. They didn't vandalize anything. 1,000 of the 1,500 that were pardoned were nonviolent, many of whom were waved in by Capitol Police. They have them on video waving them in. And they used that defense saying, I was waved in. And they said, that does not absolve you of guilt. Like, this is truly the worst thing I've ever seen in American history. Is that's the largest persecution of Christians in America, because most of the J6ers are Christians. 1,500 Christians thrown in the clink largely for political persecution or religious persecution. Now you might say, Doug, what about the ones that used bear spray on a cop? They would have gotten away with it if they were a Black Lives Matter Democrat. They'd have been let off the hook. That's why I'm saying it's political.
Like people that walk through open doors. A lot of them walk through open doors. That's it. But everybody here is like, J6. Seriously.
But you've been so outspoken on this issue.
Yes, I have. And they're pardoned. And thank God, I hope they go live their lives and can reassemble something back together, because they have suffered enough. Go do a story on all the Antifa BLM people that never served time. Over 95% of them, seriously. Think about that. And go do a story on these cities that BLM burned to the ground and they never built back. They raised all that money on ActBlue and they never built those communities back.
Valid point. It's technically a whataboutism, but look, everything is a whataboutism. It's how you flush out to see if this journalist is interested in the truth, because she would never do stories on BLM or Antifa or the violence they did that is worse than the J6ers. They don't care. They were too busy building up a political thing. Now they're trying to do a gotcha on Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You don't think it's a fair question to ask you because you've been so outspoken.
It is nauseating. I've seen all the Democrat-run networks ad nauseum about January 6th, and they just can't get over themselves, but they don't give a shit about real Americans.
Oh, bad word. Another one there. Probably justified.
Created a select committee to investigate January 6th, so it's not like Republicans aren't talking about this.
No, but it was your question. Are you going to have J6ers come in? Are you going to give them tours? Like, I'm so sick of you people and all this crap. I really am.
The reason why I asked that is because other people have said that, and so I assumed you would be one of the people that would also be having tours, just because I know you're close to some of the people.
Because you're assuming. You know, the problem is you people never gave me a fair shot to begin with, and all these assumptions and all these headlines and all these lies. So you came in asking me, why don't you do a story on what people care about? People care about the border, the economy, energy. They're sick and tired of the foreign wars. They're tired of the hypocrisy up here, and they hate the media right now. They do, I'm serious.
They hate the media. Now she's going to do, I always say this about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Anytime she's interacting with the media, Marjorie Taylor Greene is technically always trying to save them and help them and do them a favor. Now, if this media person listened to her, this media person's career would be better, her life would be better, her audience would be better, and the people that she works for would get higher ratings and more views. That is, and she'd be closer to the truth. Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to save her, this evil media person. And this media person says, no, I don't want your salvation. I don't want your help. I'm here drowning, but I don't want your life preserver. And that's kind of what I find delicious about this whole exchange. Marjorie Taylor Greene's trying to save you.
You guys have created a situation where you're not trusted and people are sick of y'all. And it's sad. I'm serious, it's sad.
She's serious.
Well, so no, I'm not answering this question. 'Cause I'm not going down this stupid thing of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, I don't think it's stupid to ask that question.
I do.
I mean, just you've been so outspoken on this issue, I thought you might want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked, so I'm glad I did. Thanks, guys.
What a passive aggressive that lady. What a weirdo. That's psycho. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's just exhausted. She's really she's all out of nice because that's all she's heard 24/7 just for years. And it's all of the media ask the same questions and they all have the same answers and the same talking point. And they're just here to just ladies regurgitating the same thing again as if she's asking something unique of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she looks absolutely exhausted. Let's get to Mitch McConnell. Okay, look, this is Benny Johnson's Twitter over here. Breaking. Senator Mitch McConnell has voted yes on Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. Now, as far as I know, that should mean he gets enough votes. I'll report again if he makes it through. Yeah, so that's the last thing I got is that Mitch McConnell is voting for Hegseth. So he goes to the final vote. It looks like he'll make it by one. I believe if there's a tie, J.D. Vance decides. I'll let you guys know I'm Doug in exile. Thanks for joining me.